I want to see what these guys have got to say. So first of all, I'm not going to watch it all because it's there. I want you guys to go and watch it all, whatever it is they've got to say. The title is Britain is Ready to Explode. It's the podcast eaters, Lotus. Podcast of the Lotus eaters. Sorry, guys. So let's get into it. You can see who's on the panel. It doesn't need much explanation. Let's go for it.
So the protests have still been continuing in Epping. Jack Hadders was down there yesterday covering it all, and it's all very local and polite and constrained. Like, it wasn't crazy. It's not far-right lunatics, goggle-eyed weirdos or anything. It's just normal local people who are concerned.
So you have to set the narrative, really. That's Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, who I've listened to for a long, long time. And I'm not going to give it and disagree with some of what he says. Well, who cares what I disagree with? I've just listened for a long, long time. So, but he's setting the scene because he doesn't want anyone who's viewing the podcast to look for anything to say, gotcha. He's saying it's restrained, it's constrained, it's very peaceful, it's not Southport, which I'm pretty sure he's going to refer to. He's referring to Epping.
About their own children and why there are a bunch of foreign, unvetted migrant men there, as in fact one local woman explains. I think we just have her explain it to us.
The hotel needs shutting, and we're out here to save our children, to protect them. There's unvetted men in the hotel, and they shouldn't be. It needs closing.
And what have you heard from being down here?
What do you mean?
What have you heard about anything that's happened with the migrants being around here?
Oh, there's been loads of stuff. My daughter works in the high road in a hairdressing salon, and they've had...
I don't like that question, what have you heard? It's leading. Leading questions get you bad answers. I'm not saying that he's not trying to arrive at what she considers to be the truth that's going on in Epping. It's, what have you heard? I guess I would have said, so what brings you here? What is it that's with that T-shirt on, Children's Voice? Why are you carrying that placard? Explain to the public, but not what have you heard. It's a bit leading. I'm not criticising, it's just how I would ask. To me would get a much more open answer as opposed to a leading. Leading questions are fine, like what time is it? Well, it's 2:00. Yeah, but what time do you think it is? Don't look at your watch.
And come in there, intimidating them. Other people who have salons down here, they've had them coming in. There was the sexual assault. My daughter used to go to Epping.
Other people, other men, ask her what they're doing in the salons. Are they going in the salons because they don't know it's a place to get their hair cut? What are they going in for? Or is it for us to assume and therefore build our own narrative, which can be misleading, but also could be a good thing to find your own. What you extract from it is up to you. But if it's meant to be a commentary on what's actually happening, ask her. Is he going to ask her what's happening in the salons?
John's, and she used to walk home from school, being ogled by them, spoken to by them, wolf whistled. It's just not on. It's not on.
So that gives you an impression of what's been going on in Epping. Because the thing is, we focus on the worst aspect of it, which is the obviously the individual crime, or the crimes alleged to have been committed. But it creates a kind of culture of tension just to have them around, because they don't integrate. They're intimidating people around, you know. And so people have been protesting constantly since the protest began. And here they are outside of the civic offices again. Jack recording, and they've won. It seems they've won.
The council voted yesterday, right?
Yep. The council has unanimously voted to urge the government to close.
But the council has no power. It can send it to the Secretary of State. That's about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, but this is not a 1-week-old problem. That's surfacing every day in British news.
Close the hotel housing the asylum seekers after the demonstration. Now, the council are still talking tough, which is interesting. The Conservative leader, Chris Whitbread, says, I'm concerned that the peaceful protests are being infiltrated by the extremes of politics. It's like, I don't see any evidence for that.
It's took them 5 years, though, for the council, because these have been here 5 years.
Yep.
When a Conservative or any political party says that, that's to insulate themselves against, say, it's not us. It's them. Whoever the others are, it's not us, it's them. And then the media can run with what it wants. Any media can run with any story it wants.
So they're all now finding the courage, and what this shows is that the public have given them that courage. And do you know what I find exciting is that mothers like this who are talking now have fought this for years. But they didn't have the courage, or they didn't feel the confidence to say it. And what you're seeing now across the country is Britain's mums just speaking,
standing up. We've had
finally.
enough.
People have had enough. Yeah, it's encouraging to watch.
Yeah, because
Also, we don't go as a people, we don't travel beyond our boundaries. 60 years ago, no one travelled more than 25 miles because you couldn't.
when the mums come out, you know it's over.
Yeah.
And also, it's just in the government's position is just indefensible. She's like, look, they come and they harass our daughters, they're staring at them and so on.
But why is it over when the mums come out? Well, because men are watching. And everyone's watching. You have, let's split this, whether it's right or wrong. You have 100 feminists walking down the street screaming for X. Men are like, whatever. You have 100 people who men perceive to be mothers saying, this is happening to my daughter, to my son, to young people, and I need it to stop. Men are watching going, well, okay, what is that? What? And then, so women will be saying to men, directly and indirectly via protest, where are all of you? What's going on here? Because we are a collective voice and we're very powerful, but we're not a physically powerful voice. We need the rest of you to get momentum. That's what he should be saying, hopefully.
What can you say to that? It's just a normal mum telling it how it is.
I mean, I dread to think what their opinion of that is. I mean, but the thing is, remember, they are still tough talking. So basically, they haven't actually admitted they've done anything wrong yet. For example, I mean, notice the Chris Whitbread, the leader here, being like, well, I'm worried that the residents' peaceful protests are being infiltrated by the extremes of politics. Like, what are you talking about? Where are they? You've just got a bunch of normal people in Epping saying, look, we're sick of this. It's been 5 years. It's got to stop. And then, just a quick thing, then you've got the police chief superintendent saying, we won't tolerate anyone thinking they can come and cause trouble or preach. So listen, just stop. You've just done exactly what these people wanted. So say, look, we're really sorry, actually. We're sorry that this was forced on you. We're sorry we went along with it. You know?
Never going to apologise. Can't apologise. If you apologise, it's the same with anything. Doesn't mean you shouldn't apologise, but they won't. They won't. They can't. Because then they're admitting that what they did was wrong. In any walk of life, if you apologise for something and own up to it, that means you're admitting what you did was wrong. Now, with reciprocity, the other person will say, I accept your apology. British public, in whatever this is, whether it's this, X, Y, or Z, this is just one item, one agenda, one happening. So you can't apologise. You should, but they won't. Because then you've got to admit you were wrong. They'll admit they were wrong, but in 1,000 different ways, by blaming someone else, blaming this, blaming that. This hasn't been going on for a week, going on for years, whatever. This particular element in society, this breakdown, this lack of cohesion they talked about, this lack of integration with the consequences that seems to be happening, indicative of that particular trend of male adults, is being highlighted by these protests. The counter-argument people are going to come up with is, yeah, but, British people do that. Yeah, they do. British people do commit offences. Of course they do. But that's not what we're talking about. You identify the source and deal with that source. If it's collectively one group of people doing one same thing at a higher than expected rate, and higher than, not acceptable, but understandable rate, within the bounds of norm. If you have a distribution, men are this, women are that, criminals do this, and criminals in this group tend to come from this particular region, or tend to come from this particular area, or this type of profiled. That's what profiling's about.
We shouldn't have ruined the place that you live, and we shouldn't have made it so that kids can get molested by these strangers.
It's kind of unfortunate that force is the only way to get anything done in this country, but the precedent has been set by other people. You complain, you make a stink, you threaten, and actually things get done. That's the only way.
I find it.
That's just making your voice heard. Force seems to add an extra dimension to it. What does he mean by force? Force in verbal force, the will. Your will and your expression and your distaste and your protest forces politicians to listen, forces the police to listen, forces your neighbour to listen, whoever that is, forces men to listen, forces the rest of society to listen to mothers, because mothers are revered, and rightly so. Yeah.
Even with regards to, was it Jack here? The amount of now citizen journalists, they can't twist it, they can't change the narrative, they can't control the narrative. The videos that were shown of Antifa getting bust out and bust in by the police, without citizen journalism, they would have totally controlled the narrative. No one would have been able to pick up on this. There's so many now. That's what I find great. And I try and give them all a shout out. Say to the public, get behind these people. Anyone on there live streaming, anyone up asking questions directly of the public, getting their opinions is so important.
To add to that as well, there was a guy, I forgot his name, I think Marcus maybe, he was streaming for 6 to 7 hours on the ground, like consistently, and that's where he picked up some of the footage of Antifa and Stand Up to Racism, you know, were being bussed out of the area, and even the police officers saying that it was a bus. And you can leap into action with people like behind.
Where were they bussed from? Was it 30 miles, 1 mile? Were they going to walk down the motorway? Should the police have turned them back? Is he going to explore that? People are going to say, yeah, but they were bussed there by the police, and I accept that that doesn't look right on face evidence, and I'm not saying it is right. I'm just saying, are they going to explore, oh, these guys were shipped in at Eppings in Essex. Was they shipped in from Surrey? Were they shipped in from London? Was there 6 different buses with 50 different people? What were the numbers? I don't know. I'm not criticising. These are the questions I have to ask myself. Let's pull it back up. Sorry, guys. Just this mouse is too sensitive.
Behind the desk or back at home, I started then, you know, investigating whether there was some sort of coordination between the councils and, of course, the police, if there's any funding as well. But like you said, you need citizen journalists to be there consistently so that people can sit back and wait, and if they see something, they can jump in and investigate.
It's the unions funding this, right?
Yes.
The unions funding it.
Yeah.
The unions in bed with the Labour Party, the government.
Yeah.
So the government aren't getting their hands dirty, but their partners are doing exactly the same. This is nothing new either. You'll still remember my Oldham campaign.
Unions have always been in bed with the Labour government. That's how the Labour government is founded. That's how it's funded. It gets union members pay into the Labour Party. So, yeah, fine to display that, but it's not new. If you're watching this and thinking, oh, the unions are funding, the unions have always funded Labour's political movement. What they're saying here is, but this is not political. This is, yeah. So, if the unions are funding this, other union members, is it union members that are turning up as Antifa or whoever they are against racism, or whichever group against lollipops?
Where they marched hundreds and hundreds of Muslims wearing balaclavas to a family event in a family estate. They marched a miles to come in and disrupt it and ruin it. And then the media used to just pump the headline, trouble at Tommy Robinson event. Yep. Far right thugs. So they wanted to...
Just being devil's advocate, did they march the miles, or did they just secure a route that these people were going to take anyway? And is the argument that they should have stopped it, saying, you're not going to a family estate, we're not going to allow it? Which is it? That's what I'm curious about.
Take the narrative away from the mums here who are protesting and turn it into a free-for-all, turn it into a violent confrontation, so then they could use that to silence the legitimate concerns of the community.
They can't get away from it. They can't get away from it now.
You know what's interesting is Victoria Derbyshire on BBC Newsnight did a piece on this, and they were interviewing people at the time. And in fact, very, very similar to what you just said.
I've just been talking to the council leader, and he said that Tommy Robinson is expected here. What do you think of that?
And he said the devil's about to arrive. The Pied Piper of Hamelin is coming to take your children. What do you think? Well, I don't think it's a good idea. I reckon that's what he's going to say. It's probably going to be something like, let's see what he's got to say, because it might be surprising.
I'm mixed race. Okay, I'm going to say that. I'm mixed race. I'm old enough to remember the BNP. Tommy Robinson is not racist.
As far as you're concerned, he is welcome here.
I think for me personally, I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh.
Because of the amount of people he'll bring from outside the area. At the moment, it's a local thing for local people. who want to voice their opinion and want the government to do something about it. You bring Tommy Robinson here with all the good intentions in the world, I don't think he's going to end well.
It's right.
So that guy, I think, has got a great point. And as I understand it, you haven't been down to Epping.
No, he was right. So remember, I watched a video and it was some girl saying, "Tommy, can you come down here?" When people ask for something, I find it hard not to say yeah. It was a day or 2 days I sat thinking about it, and I thought I'm going to give them the ammunition that the media want and probably that the government want to rubbish what they're doing. So then I made the decision it's best to stay away from it.
Yeah, and I think
reached out to me as well, Carl.
I did.
A few people did give me their concerns, and I took the concerns, and I thought if I went there, it becomes about me.
Yeah.
The chance will be about me. The issue will be about me. It won't be about the man that sexually assaulted a child in a school uniform. It won't be about the mums in the area. So yeah, I'd made the decision not to go. What this is going to show when they win, because I believe they're now...
So, is he saying that the platform he established over the last 10, 15 years has now reached a point where he doesn't have to physically represent himself in localities? Because then whoever, because is he saying that there are no people that follow him, that are not follow him, that use it as an excuse to cause chaos, because that's the world they live in, right or left, doesn't matter. The left wing will have people who are moderates, who literally want to say that I don't agree with this, and they'll also have the lunatics at the back throwing doggy doo-doo saying racists out. So is he just saying that if I go there, I take away local empowerment and get the message mixed? Or is he saying people will follow me? I think it's both. So I think what you're saying is, if I don't go, that can't be disrupted, which is great, and I agree with them all on this. And Carl Benjamin's reached out to him and said, Tommy, don't go. And I think the message from people who are trying to say, don't delegitimize that message which you've had by giving those that empower, whatever that means, empower, however you view this, don't give them the opportunity to say, yeah, but you're going and you're this, that, and the other, and we can latch onto that to distract from the message that the local people are trying to say with absolute veracity in the context of the events that are happening in their locality. We can switch the narrative to a grand, let's all hate whoever it is, Tommy Robinson, Carl Benjamin, doesn't matter who they want to push back against in order to discredit the message. Yeah.
The council go to the Home Office telling them they need to close it. Hopefully now the Home Office make a decision to close it. It shows this is one hotel. You've got one in Norwich where 2 men have raped from that hotel. You've got them across the country. It shows the local community, get out.
Yeah. You have power.
You have power. Get out.
You can do this. I mean, the good people of Epping have been such a great case study in this.
Yeah.
And actually, I just want to congratulate yourself and everyone else. Like, the online right, well, it'd be so easy for us to get to Epping and just go down there and make trouble and make a scene out of it. But that wouldn't have helped. And I think this chap's exactly right. Like, look, no, we, the locals, can handle this.
Yeah,
and they have.
We've done it.
And they've absolutely won.
So the online figures that are deemed on right, I'd just say they're centre-left. Centre-right, not online right. They're saying, leave it to the locality. We'll promote it, we'll distribute it, we'll talk about it. But there's that much of it now. The absorption rate is so much that people are going to come out and say, enough. Okay, I get it. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to put the link in the description. Go and watch it all. Yeah, let's give them a subscribe. I think I am already, but I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not. I must have been. I don't know why I wasn't. Very good people. Interesting. I'm going to watch the rest of it offline. Is Britain ready to explode? Watch it and make your own opinion. It's not for me to decide. Till next time, guys. Take care.